Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk, continuing on with our REPC theme. But some of you have asked, Peter, why was your hair so poofy in the last video? Thank you for noticing and asking. Trying out a new hair product. I think we've got it nailed down, but you guys can let me know. I think it's under control better today. So let's talk about the REPC. Section 1, 1.1 and 1.2, included items. This is an important one. It's super simple. It's elementary stuff, but man, as you probably know, it can blow up a lot of deals or cause a lot of consternation at the settlement table. So let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, be super familiar with what's in 1.1. All that stuff is automatically included in the deal by default in the REPC, by using the REPC. So if you want to exclude something, then make sure you put it in the excluded items 1.3. So things like TV mounting brackets, that's now in there. Water softeners was moved from a checkbox to automatically included. So be aware of that and be super familiar with what's in there, so that as you're going through a listing appointment, you can ask your sellers, hey, that TV mounting bracket is automatically going to stay. If you want to keep that, if you want to take that with you, we got to write it in as an excluded item, or we got to get rid of it now before we start showing the home. So be aware of that. Also be aware that all the items in 1.2, the included items that you can, other included items you can check box, they're all plural. Washers, refrigerators, they have an S, and that's for a good reason, because you got the twin Sub-Z in the kitchen, and then you got the 19-year-old Maytag in the garage. If it was singular, seller's gonna think what? Yeah, I'm including the Maytag in the garage. Buyer's gonna think what? Yeah, you're including the twin Sub-Z's in the kitchen. We don't want there to be a fight at the settlement table, so it's plural. That means if you as a seller want to keep one of the refrigerators, then make sure you write that as an excluded item. You're specific about which one it is. Be aware as well that these are owned items. So any of the included items, as long as they're present in the property and owned. What does that mean? Well, if you are leasing something like, say, the solar panels on the roof, then that's not going to be included by default. So if you're working with a buyer and you see some of these items, you may want to clarify that they are owned, especially if the buyer has a special interest in those items. Make sure you know that they are owned. There is a separate addendum now that's a bill of sale and an inventory list that you can use if there are a lot of items you want to include in the sale. So in 1.2, you would mark there are other items being transferred by a bill of sale. And then you would fill out that form and go back and forth with the buyer and seller, have them both sign off on it. Otherwise, you can still use the 1.2 extra line and say, yeah, these items are included and we're writing them in. Just remember to be specific about what items. Don't just say dining room set. Say kitchen table with 6 chairs. Make sure you're very specific so that you don't get to the settlement table and have a misunderstanding between buyer and seller, and then you end up buying an extra chair or 2 or bathroom mirror or whatever the case may be. So, and there's nothing more unsatisfying than getting them through a whole transaction. Everything's gone so smooth. You've dodged all the landmines in a regular transaction. Then you get to the settlement table and the seller took the TV mounting bracket. And suddenly you have an upset buyer or a seller, and it puts a bad light on the whole transaction for them when you got them through all the big stuff without any problems. So Remember, prevention is key on this one. Have a good eye for it. And remember, no garden shed is too big to be moved if your brother owns a crane truck. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.